There's nothing quite like the peace and tranquility of the big smoke to make a man think that, gee, there's just got to be something better. Sometimes you need to escape the rat race and head for the bush. So why don't you join me and some of my mates as we hook up the camper trailers and put in a long weekend of adventuring just 3 hours from the big smoke.
Looking for a mad deal on the gear that you're chasing? Like this awning, I've got you covered. Keep an eye out throughout this video for an exclusive discount code and get 10% off store-wide for all 4-wheel drive Supacentre YouTube subscribers. And as always, enjoy this adventure because this is an epic trip.
Our trip over the next few days takes us just south of Sydney to the southern Highlands of New South Wales, which has some of the best 4-wheel driving you can find outside a capital city. Taking the helm on this trip is camper trailer touring editor Colin Broad. Broady's an ex-submarine engineer. Gee, I sure hope he doesn't wind up in the drink on this trip. And along for the ride are Richard, Mel and their kids, Chloe and Maisie. They're from the Victorian High Country, and you can bet they spend a lot of weekends out in that camper trailer. Colin's got a cracker of a trip lined up for us that kicks off from the majestic Wombian Caves region and then takes us down to the undulating tracks of the Brindabella Ranges National Park. From there we're going to head back up north to Yalwell to take on the infamous Monkey Gum Fire Trail. Great scenery, great driving, and with the camper trailers in tow, a real challenge. But hey, with the Hilton on the back, the extra comfort should make up for a great weekend. After raining for the last couple of days, the heavens finally cleared up, which made for some great touring and cut down the dust on the road too. Now you can take the Wombian Caves Road all the way through, but good old Colin thought that was a bit boring, so he decided to take us on one of his secret shortcuts. We're on our way up to Wombian Caves, and even though the track's bad, Colin thought it was a bit too easy, so we're going to go up a creek bed. Good on him. Those rocks look interesting. Oh boy, Red could have trouble here, let alone the camper trailer. Oh well, that's what 360 horsepower's for. Let's see if we can jump across this lot.
How's that, John?
A couple of big rocks in there, mate, by the look of it.
Yeah, nothing's too hard. The secret to this one will be when you're going through, keep your speed down. You might have to drive wide to get your camper to come around some of the obstacles.
Yep.
And try and get a wheel placement, because what that will do then is lift your axles up on your trailer. And with these nice big rocks, you won't do any damage to your axle or any of the suspension. But apart from that,
that's a maybe. We'll give it a go. Good stuff. All right, mate.
All right, we'll see you on the other side.
No worries. Time to customise the camper trailer. Well, there's nothing quite like a whole bunch of rocks anytime when you're 4-wheel driving, but when you chuck in a trailer, it adds a whole new perspective. Colin's got independent suspension on his trailer, and so that adds a whole lot of support, really, in a case like this, because he doesn't have to worry too much about the rocks in the middle of the axle. Me? Well, hey, I got a beam axle. It's a different deal, but we'll get there. Hang on, Col. Yep, there's Richard piling a few rocks. Once Richard and the family saw what Colin had in store, they very wisely decided to take the long route around.
Easy side or the hard side? I think we'll go the hard side.
Well, if I'd have had half a grain of sense, I would have taken it too. But hey, if Broady can do it, so can I. Move over, mate. Left. You're right on the front. Colin does nearly all his outback touring with a camper trailer, so he's really switched on at this sort of stuff. But then you'd expect that from the editor of a magazine called Camper Trailer Touring, wouldn't you? You're right. That's good. Straighten her up, Cole. The whole trick to negotiating country like this, with a camper trailer especially, is to take it nice and slow. Colin's lucky. His GU Patrol is an automatic, it's a diesel. He can slog away in low range and do exactly that. It takes quite a bit of skill. Red, on the other hand, 360 horsepower. You know how hard it is not just to stomp it and see how high it'll fly? But thanks to the low range gears, I'm going to take this so easy it's not funny. I'm going to try to anyway. Whoops, wonder how far we can go like this. Looking all right? That's what I like about New South Wales. All that convict blood hanging out to play with some rocks. Good on you guys. You like playing with rocks, don't you?
Making a highway for you.
Making a highway. I got the easy bit. They got about 8 tonnes of big rock back there. Yeah, but look at them go. The whole trick when you're rolling rocks is to make sure your feet aren't underneath them. There you go. Couldn't have done it without me, could you guys? Back in the truck. It's always good. Doesn't matter how many times you do it, it's always good. With Colin and Richard keeping an eye open, I've got every chance of clearing this in Big Red. Pretty easy to see what's going to crash on that camper trailer, isn't it? It's those rear supports, and guess what? By the end of this trip, both of them were bent. You get that. I think it was pretty clever of Richard and his family to avoid this rocky section and take the longer way up the road. It was quicker anyway. Set in the Blue Mountains National Park, the Wombian Caves are an extensive series of limestone caves on a 417 hectare reserve. They're a very popular tourist attraction and a great place to take a holiday too. It's really nice staying around here. Great campsites, self-contained cottages if you want that extra bit of luxury, I guess. And best of all, hot showers. That's what you need in New South Wales. Oh wow, look at that, big hole in the earth. There's heaps of guided tours all through this region. You can spend the whole weekend just going in and out of caves. But there's one self-guided tour at the Fig Tree here that's supposed to be the best caving experience in New South Wales. Come on, we'll check it out. Come on, you guys, you ready? Yeah, let's go, this will be good. Come on in. The limestone caves at Wombian were discovered in 1828 by John Oxley and John MacArthur while they were out searching for a bit more grazing land. I'll tell you what, it would have been rough going back in those days. Today, the Fig Tree Cave is a hands-free experience with an audio and lighting tour that's electronically controlled to guide you through the cave and explain what's going on along the way.
At the far end of the chamber is the Opera House stage.
Nearly as fancy as my pergola back home. There's no time limit, so you can take as long as you want. I'll tell you what, these vast caves and the limestone formations that have formed over millions of years are really something else. It's insane. This is Mother Nature in her grandest, I reckon. Underground, beautiful, cool, and just magnificent. We would have loved to stay and explore a few more of the attractions here, but we've got a date in the Brindabella Ranges, so it was time to hit the road and head south. The hills of the Southern Highlands, wow, they're just some of the most beautiful country on earth, they really are. And it just goes to show you don't need to travel all the way out to the Never Never to get in some spectacular touring. Look at this country. It's wild, it's wonderful, it's loaded with our convict past. I love it. You know, you Sydney guys are really lucky. This is right next door, right in your backyard. What a magnificent place to spend a weekend. We're all on the radio here too, just in case. The roads are tight, plenty of corners. You want to know who's coming around the next one, don't you?
Get more for less at 4-Wheel Drive Supacentre with incredible deals on Adventure King's camping and outdoor gear. Take your camping experience to the next level with the amazing Grand Tourer Mark III aluminium rooftop tent, the rooftop tent that practically sets itself up. King's portable gazebos are built ultra strong with a tough steel frame, are easy to set up even by yourself and are available in multiple sizes for the campsite or the job site. The incredible new 270-degree freestanding awning can be set up in just 40 seconds and wraps around the side and the back of your car for incredible amounts of shelter. Hit the water on a King's inflatable stand-up paddleboard for an insane amount of fun at the beach, the river or the dam. But warning, it's highly addictive. Plus there's fridges, solar panels and more to make every adventure incredible. At 4-Wheel Drive Supacentre, you get more for less.
We decided to take the Hume Highway through Goulburn and then head south to Wee Jasper, the gateway to the Brindabellas. It's said that Banjo Patterson once lived around here, and a number of his works were inspired by the incredible landscape of the area. I wonder if he had to put up with a great big sheep out the front of the garage too. Not long ago they moved the big merino. Gee, that would have been a job. Wonder if they did it on the back of a camper trailer, Cole. I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? It's just a beautiful day to be out touring.
Certainly is, you couldn't ask for better. You can see that on a good day like this, you can see the Murrumbidgee River down there.
Look at the river girls. Look how big it is.
Oh, that's just so picturesque, the old bridge.
Looks fantastic, doesn't it?
It's called the Tamus Bridge. I think it was made somewhere in the 30s. Still in good condition for its age.
Before long we got to the Stables Tavern, a really popular destination for families, social group and 4-wheel drive clubs visiting the area. The tavern used to be the original stables for the New South Wales Mounted Police. They used to have to hang out here because gold was discovered in Kiandra in the Snowy Mountains. And guess what? Crooks used to try and borrow it on its way to town. Hey! This is Janet. She's the owner of the stables, and what a fantastic place it is. There's everything here. It's just beautiful. Tell me a bit about the history of the stables.
Well, it was purchased in the late 1980s by one of the local ladies. She bought 3 buildings actually.
Gee, they looked after them, didn't they? I mean, they're fantastic buildings they've got here.
And they're as sturdy as,
they are,
for their
aren't
age.
they? Yeah, pretty impressive, isn't it? They put a lot of effort into housing the police, didn't they?
Yeah. Keeping the baddies out maybe too.
You don't do that now though, you let us in. So what else do you offer here? I mean, obviously it's a great bar. What else is on offer?
We do a local Rambo trout from Tumut. We do an Angus Scotch fillet. We do quite a good menu that'll satisfy all tastes. We've got accommodation, we've got 3 cabins. And if you overstay your drinking level, you can just plonk yourselves on the grass outside.
Oh, I hear that. Plenty of room to pitch a tent or a swag or a camper trailer out the back. Not that I've ever done that myself, of course. Not long after leaving Wee Jasper, we hit the Brindabella National Park. This is the most northerly park along the Australian Alps, sitting northwest of the New South Wales ACT border.
It's good to be back on the dirt, Cole.
Mate, with the amount of dust this car and camper's throwing up, you should be changing that to back in the dirt.
Yeah, I am in the middle of your dirt at the moment. And it shouldn't be that way, mate. I don't have fair air conditioning.
You do, you have those little kick panels at the side. Just let one in, trust me.
Yeah, but your thing's got the aerodynamics of a brick. I'm just filling up with dirt.
Driving on these tracks can be fairly hard going, especially when it's raining. So you need to take a few precautions and check the weather conditions. If you don't do that, you'll find the track can get very slippery very quickly. With that in mind, it's time to let down some tyre pressures. Camper trailers, well for me, I'm talking about 18 PSI on the truck and 14 PSI on the camper. Other people will have their preference, but of course the important thing is to make sure that the camper trailer tyres are bagging out roughly the same as the trucks. Here we are. We're trying to get through to McIntyre's hut tonight, but before we can, we've got to go up and down a couple of pretty considerable hills, like this one here. This one's a doozy. Wow.
Just out of interest, we've climbed 700 metres since we left Lee Jasper.
And when we head down towards McIntyre's, we'll drop about 500 metres in a couple of kilometres.
Your brakes really handle these tracks well, Cole. What's the trick there?
I'm a bit of a fan of the electric brakes. I find they give me a lot more control coming down these hills.
I reckon the ability to lock up the trailer brakes would be brilliant in the rain. You'd need it here.
Yeah, hydraulic brakes work well, but sometimes when your car gets out of shape, it's nice to have the little manual controller on it just to apply the brakes to the trailer and not the car, and it helps it get it straight again.
The biggest trick to remember when you're making a big descent with a camper trailer on the back is that the vehicle and trailer's probably going to clock in at around the 4 tonnes. Now, even with the electronic brakes on these campers, you've got to be fairly careful not to overheat your brakes. That means using the lowest gear you can. In my case, I'm in the Gear Masters and in the low range and right down in first, and letting the engine haul you up all the way down.
Secret to driving this terrain is be aware of your speed and be aware of the capability of your car and your camper. If your drawbar is too low, you don't have enough ground clearance on these ramp overs, you're going to catch a drawbar. That potentially can lift up your rear wheels, which means you're going to drag it over the mound, and you have the chance then of bending your drawbar. Take a look at these drop-offs either side as you come down this ridge line. They'd have to be dropping about 400 metres down, I reckon.
Yeah, there's a nice thought. I don't get a real close look.
Imagine if you fell down that.
This is McIntyre's hut. It was built by Les McIntyre in the 1960s as a fishing hut for his family. And not long after that, it saved a bunch of bushwalkers in midwinter when they got stuck here, and this was their refuge, you know, it kept them alive. The Department of Interior recognised that, so they kept the hut. But then in 1999, some vandals burnt it down. Now, fortunately, the local four-wheel drive clubs came along, got together and rebuilt the hut. But you know what? At the end of the day, this is just a magic place to stay. It really is. I know why old Les built his hut here. Green flats all over the place. Wonderful four-wheel driving to get in and out. It's just such a nice place. It doesn't get much more Australian than McIntyre's hut. This is just one beautiful little corner of the country. And so to celebrate that, we're going to do a typically Aussie meal. Let me show you how it's done. Now, it starts out with 2 different types of mince. We've got some beef mince here, good old beef mince, and we've got some pork mince. Pork mince isn't always bacon chopped up, you know, it should be. It isn't always. So try once again to get the best stuff you can. The leaner the better. And when it comes to pork mince, forget it. It's just going to be loaded with fat and flavour right from the start, which is why we're using it. Okay, so we've got 2 different types of mince in there. And I got Colin to knock up some breadcrumbs, because you've got to have breadcrumbs for this recipe. Good on you, mate. In they go. With the breadcrumbs in there, we'll add a few more things. This, of course, is curry powder. I'm going to add about that much. How much is that? Ooh, less than a whole tablespoon, which is quite a lot when it comes to curry powder. Then we're going to add some pepper. There we go. Fair bit of pepper. Oh, I know the salt did. Look at that. That's all right. Salt's bad for you anyway. We'll forget about that. We'll compensate by adding more Worcestershire sauce than normal. Dum, 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 dum. Any sauce is going to be loaded with salt. That's what it's all about, getting the salt balance right. And then we'll add a couple of eggs. Bingo. And his little sister Dingo. There we go. One more little ingredient here, and that's some onion. I grated up 3 onions here, but don't use it all because we need some for later to make the gravy. Probably use about 2/3 of it in our rissoles. Here comes the fun part. And just for the sake of the camera crew who've got to eat this later on, I did wash my hands. It was about a week ago, but that's all right, isn't it, guys? Okay, here we go. Now you can see that that's turning into one great big sticky lump. And if we were, you know, in a real hurry, we'd just slap on one big rissole and call it lunch, wouldn't we? But we're not going to do that. We're going to make little rissoles. Now, you know the joke about the one-armed shearer's cook, don't you? You know, how he made really good rissoles? Dum-dumfa. We won't do that. Okay, there we go. Each rissole can be as big as you want. We're going to make these fairly big. Except for that one. Can be yours, Anthony. It's only little. And one last one for luck. And there we have it. Now, there's a couple of other things we need for this meal. One is some mashed potatoes and the other's peas. And that's being handled over at the other camper trailers. That's the beautiful thing about going camping with a bunch of camper trailers, you know. When you all sit down to have a meal, everyone can cook one little part of it or something. So all I got to do now is knock up these rissoles in the barbie, and while that's happening, I'll make some onion gravy. But meanwhile, let's go and see how the spuds are getting along.
I'm doing the peas. Still a bit frozen, I think. A few more minutes.
Oh, nice. Everyone's going to love these. Already special mash.
Well, it looks like it won't be too long before the spuds and the peas are ready. So I've heated up the Weber. It's been running for 4 or 5 minutes. You need to get these lidded barbecues hot before you do anything with them. Time to bung on the rissoles. Here we go. Okay, shut the lid. Anthony's going to time this for 5 minutes. That's the beautiful thing about these. Just give them a time. We'll come back in 5 minutes, switch them over. And by that stage, it'll be time to make some onion gravy. How long's 5 minutes? Well, if you haven't got someone timing it, it's about 2 beers. Cheers. Oh, they will. Rock and roll. And there we go, precisely 2 beers later. Thanks, Anthony. We'll just spin these over. Look at that. Because they're rissoles, give them a little tamp down. Shut the lid. How's our spuds and our peas doing?
Peas are great.
These are great?
Yep.
Spuds are good? Melinda, I think you get to eat first. Stick a few on there, or do you want a spoon or something to do it?
I'm sure I can do it like this.
You can do it. You're a mum. You're used to this stuff.
I
Look at that. There you go. Beautiful.
There we go.
These are great pots. All right, cool. Now that's campfire mashed potato, which means it's been done with the skins on, so it's really healthy. Good stuff. Tomato sauce for you. Now, Melinda, you get to... Oh, gravy. I forgot the gravy.
Do I need tomato sauce?
No, you probably don't
Not
need
with
it.
the gravy.
Not with the gravy. The sauce was actually an alternative for those people who don't like the gravy. Now we need a taste test.
Oh, with me?
Yeah, with you.
Okay.
Yeah. How's that? Are they good rissoles?
Good rissoles.
You're honest
Fantastic
too.
rissoles.
She's really honest, this lady, so...
The peas are better though.
Okay. There you go, dead easy. Can't get much more Aussie than that with a bit of German flavour thrown in. Good stuff, eh? Hey guys, what are we going to call these again? Roothy? Oh no, we can't call them Roothy. We could, but we won't. McIntyres. That's the name of the hut, isn't it?
It is.
Righto. McIntyres rissoles. Hey, can't beat that. Let's go.
Get more for less at 4-Wheel Drive Supacentre with insane deals on King's DIY storage and 12-volt gear to build your dream 4-wheel drive. Whether it's an inverter you need to run 240-volt gear on the job site or the campsite, a battery box or a 12-volt control box to easily access your power, King's 12-volt DIY gear is what you need to take your 12-volt setup to the next level. Need a battery? King's has you covered with a full range of AGM, slimline and lithium batteries in sizes ranging from 98 amp hour to 200 amp hour. All built with ultra high quality components to go the distance. And of course you just can't beat King's solar panels and blankets to silently charge your batteries anytime the sun's out. At 4-Wheel Drive Supacentre, you get more for less.
Dad.
Next morning, the girls are up and raring to go, and we're all ready for a great day's driving. But before we hit the track, I have to find out how Colin was able to handle the previous day's hill descents with such ease. Not to take anything away from his driving skill, mind. What you doing, Colin?
I'm just comparing my old brake controller with my new brake controller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the old one I just took out. You know, this one has basic controls, you know, how much power it gets, the delay, and it's got a manual slide.
Yep.
And it can adjust how much you got pressure on your brakes. The new one that I've got, it's a Hayman Reese IQ2. It's got an automatic control in it, so it's got a little inertia sensor, so the harder you brake, the more power it gives on.
Oh, that's your advantage back there, eh?
Oh, definitely.
Wow.
But it still has the manual slider, so I don't have to touch the car brake, so I can actually use the manual slide, and it will actually brake the trailer.
Righto.
Even works in reverse.
That's great, mate. It works in reverse too.
Yeah, I wasn't reversing up those hills though.
No, I know. No way. I'll tell you what, we've got a few more to do too by the look of it.
Yeah, we certainly have.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let's get into it.
No worries.
Good on you, mate. The plan for the day was to work our way out of the Brindabella Ranges to Yalwell to tackle that monkey gum fire trail. But there's still plenty of driving to go in the Brindabellas themselves, and the tracks around Mount Koori, which dominate the region, are steep and very slippery.
Look at the mountain girls over there with all the rocks on the top.
That was Mount Koori.
It's always a funny feeling going over the mountains with a camper trailer. I've got to admit to liking it, you know. You head up the thing, you can feel it drag back on the truck, and then just as the truck's getting over, you get that big shove up the bum and push forward again. It's a little bit like surfing, but with 6 wheels, on a dirt track. Probably nothing like surfing at all, really, is it? There's lots of ruts around here, and you only have to imagine what it's like in the wet. This could turn into an absolute gutter, this place. It really could. Now, that'd be a whole lot of fun if you weren't in here trying to get out in a big hurry, that's for sure. On the way down through this descent, we kept using the trailer brakes to pull the whole rig straight and to give the brakes on the vehicle a little bit of a rest too. my big tip here for people with petrol engines, any engine for that matter, is to go get yourself some Marks adapters, low range gears, because that's the only thing that's saving my brakes on this hill with this camper trailer behind, I tell you.
Look at this steep track down here,
Look at
Chloe.
this bit, girls.
The automatic, the V8, I've got it locked in first low, and I've got a little bit of engine braking. But I bet you, in fact I can feel it, I bet you that the trailer brakes are skidding.
How your trailer brakes going there, John?
Yeah mate, I'm using them an awful lot actually. Need them to pull it straight on some of these bumps. I'm relying on Richard in the truck behind to tell me whether my wheels are locking up or not, and I'm adjusting the controller accordingly, but I've only got a fairly cheap unit in this truck.
If the car gets a bit out of shape coming down a hill, you can use the manual slider and straighten her up again. And you can use it just to lock the trailer up if you need
I
to.
won't tell him I've been doing that. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I'm pretty impressed actually. You know, look, it stays pretty straight. It's not bad. This brake controller costs more than the whole truck. It's fairly easy to lock up electric trailer brakes, and it's amazing how often you wind up riding that controller on a steep downhill descent. But if you look at the way Collins handles it, it's a whole different ball game. He's got the progressive braking thing happening there, and you don't see anywhere near as much tyre skidding.
I like the view up there. You've got a nice drop off on the side there.
Yeah, there's a couple of big steep drop-offs on each side, actually. You haven't got a spare hang glider in the back of your trailer, have you?
No, but I can tie a couple of handkerchiefs together if that'll help you.
Mate, you must have a damn big nose if you think your hanky's going to stop me.
I'm all for experimentation.
Driving on these tracks can be pretty hard going, especially when it's been raining. With the weather closing in, we've got to get off this track and get onto the highway as quick as we can. And that means heading towards Braidwood. Braidwood is 3.5 hours south of Sydney, and it's the first entire town to be listed on the New South Wales State Heritage Register. It's a great hub to experience an absolute smorgasbord of great four-wheel driving just south of Sydney. With historic churches, pubs, galleries and antique shops, there's plenty to see and do. But I'll tell you what, for me, it's the local bakery that's the biggest draw. With a selection of cakes, pies and delicacies of all kind, it's kind of hard to know where to begin. Or for that matter, where to stop. I'll have 6 of the little boy gingerbread men, please. They've got to be bigger than the girls, haven't they? Cole loves those meat pies, especially with a bit of sauce on top. Must be an old Navy thing, mate. If the handbrake asks, just a small wholemeal roll, no butter. Yeah, right, Roothy. Looks like you've been on small wholemeal rolls for a while, doesn't it? Well, the weather looks a bit more promising, so we decide to head a couple of hours north to Moreton National Park. But wouldn't you know it, the heavens opened up again and the track into Monkey Gum turned into a sloppy, yicky, yucky mess as quick as that. It's funny, this kind of a track. You can see what you're doing in the dry, and it's not that hard to negotiate at all. But with a camper trailer on the back, pulling you all over the place, and a slippery clay surface, and all these big ditches where you just can't see what's going on, there's a fair bit of luck involved in plunging further forward all the time. I mean, look at this. There I am, pegging out the side of the hole looking for a better track, and I'm just about getting water through the doors. In these kind of conditions, you really do have to watch out for deep wheel ruts hidden by the water, causing your beam axle to ride up over the hump in the middle. At least most of the time, all it's doing is a bit of ploughing. Wow, this is horrible, isn't it? Someone's packed this recently.
Yeah, it's firm underfoot. Unless you got
thongs on. Oh, look at this. Hey, Richard. You might want to come and have a look at this, mate. I don't know if it's the place to take the family camper, to be honest. She's a bit of a destruction test. Look at that, look at the scars on it. Mate, you might not want to do this. This is Monkey Gum Fire Trail in Yalwal. It's raining, it's pretty much straight downhill. There's a lot of big rocks. Now, it's a hard job in a four-wheel drive on a good day. With the camper trailers, it's another thing again, isn't it? My approach with the beam axle is going to be to try and get at least one wheel up on the rocks at all times. I reckon it's going to cost me a mudguard, the back of a mudguard, but I'd rather that than bend an axle.
It's getting dark, it's wet, it's going to be slippery, and as I'm breathing it's a bit steep as well.
I'm going to give this a crack first, and as far as I'm concerned, it's all about watching where I'm going. I'm in low range, I've got the Gear Masters, so that means really low range first gear in the automatic, and I'm letting the motor drag the whole package back. Even so, it's so slippery, really, it's not a place where you can use brakes. Why does this always happen to me? I start out nervous, you know? As soon as I'm into it, it's just fun. Whoops, holy dooly, gee, this is slippery. I'm actually sliding here, full on sliding. Beauty, at least there's plenty of rocks to hit. Richard stuck around for the first few 100 yards, but he'd already turned his trailer around. The family needed to get out of here. This wasn't the place to get stuck at night with a couple of kids in the rain somewhere up a rotten track. Me and Brody? Ha! Well, we're just idiots, aren't we? Come on, Col, let's go, mate. Let's give this a shake. The thing about Col is he enjoys his adventures as much as me. Is on now because pretty soon I could just be using the rear locker here to pull it straight. I can't do that here because I've got to steer through the thing. I want that piece of timber down next to this rock on the left. It'll just kick the wheels off. Yeah, a little bit further. Come on. What are you, girls? That's as far, that's all right. That'll do me. It's all right. Thank you. Thanks, girls. Right on, coming. This is one of the simplest tricks in four-wheel driving. You lay a log down next to something nice and high, something that'll take the sill out of your truck, and let the wheels slide alongside it.
That's fine, mate. The trailer's actually being held there by the log.
That's the clue. Beautiful.
The job's spot on.
Unfortunately, the log I chose weighed about 3 tons. Good on you, guys. Look at that. Save some damage on the family camper trailer. Oh yes, I'm sure the handbrake will be really pleased to know that. I haven't told her she's got to clean it yet. Whoa, boy, am I in trouble. Whew. Well, if that's the worst of it, that's not too bad. We did it. We come through unscathed. Well, I did anyway. Time to go and see what happens to Col now. I reckon I'll just pop my parasol and head on up. Watch out, Mary Poppins, here I come. Well, with dark right on us, Richard and the family have left. Good on you guys, we've had a terrific time, but really with the rain and everything else, time to go home. I couldn't agree more. Oh, beautiful. Yep, wheels are right. You won't be able to do much else anyway, so just take it real slow. She doesn't get away on you.
Yep.
Perfect, mate. Damn, it's got slippery.
Oh, it's amazing how slippery it is.
Oh, yeah. It's fairly amazing climbing this track in the dry. I've done that, and that was without a camper trailer. Coming down in the wet with 3.5 to 4 tons worth of rig on a slippery track in the rain at night. Hey, good thing we love an adventure around here, I can tell you. Come on, you need that trailer wheel to get on that rock without chipping your rim. Yeah, keep it going straight. Keep your wheels straight.
Boy, that was slippery.
No worries, that's all good. Oh, you got the sidebars anyway, that should kick it off. The trailer's ready to go. Keep it going straight, keep your wheels straight. Watch that big rock on the left. No damage. Beautiful. Okay. Beautiful. Whoa!
It's a good thing I do strong mods. My high lift jack just clipped a hanging on the back, just clipped a rock.
Right, that was too easy, Cole. We've only got another 8 Ks of this crap and we should find the pub. Bloody hell. And you know what? For the rest of that night, we battled that track. There were bog holes and bigger bog holes, and then there were some really big bog holes. We've still got quite a way to go, too.
No, you should be right.
Just backing up, Cole.
Again, tell me when I'm going to hit you, John.
Oh boy, look at that water hole. That one's got one big lip on it. Well, I've got a tactic here. It's called 360 horsepower, flat to the floor, see what happens. No, it's not that I'm over it, it's just that I want to get the truck over it. Whoops, that didn't work. Might have another go. Righto, hang on. Whoa, we're away, you beauty! Probably just about destroyed the camper. Someone else tell the handbrake, eh? Cole's coming behind, which is the tougher position to be in on a night like this. But of course, he's got the independent axle, so he's got one less thing to worry about over these big rocks. It looks like Colin's going to follow me straight through with the old hit the pedal hard thing. But no, with the independent suspension on his trailer, he's got a whole new idea on how to approach this. Oh, look at that. He just about walks over the thing. He's meandering up the side there beautifully. Yep, makes me think I should have tried that. Oh, never mind. I think I might have bent the beam axle on that one. That's my defence anyway, and I guess I kind of enjoyed hammering it. Good on you, Cole. If my trailer had gone through on that angle, it would have snagged that rock, and we'd be looking at a bent axle and wheels pointed in like that at the moment. Plus you got, what, 4 inches under the truck?
Yeah, 4 inches, 33s.
4 inches and 33s.
Yeah, tyres.
Versus 2 inches and 31s.
Yep. I got nice low tyre pressures too, so they're bagging and I'm getting lots of big footprint.
You know what though, mate? Mine look better.
Oh.
Let's go.
I'll give you that one for sure.
Well, here we go. We've still got 4 or 5 Ks to go, and nobody knows what the track's like in front of us. I thought this bit would be easy, and I know we got some tougher stuff to come. Oh well, we'll just have to see, won't we? That's where the adventure begins, I guess.
Forget building your own set of storage drawers or paying well over $1,000 for a set elsewhere, and get your hands on a set of incredibly tough and unbeatable value for money Titan storage drawers. Our entire range of Titan storage drawers have been built to handle just about anything you can throw at them. All models of Titan double drawers come with an included built-in fridge slide on the left-hand side, saving you up to $200 compared to some other brands that charge extra for a fridge slide. Each drawer top also has these heavy-duty spring-loaded tie-down points to secure your gear on even the most corrugated roads. We've put them through their paces like none other. We've jumped on them, overloaded them with bricks, chucked an engine on the drawers at full extension, absolutely flooded them and used them off-road year after year to prove just how tough they are. The Titan 900 single drawer is perfect for those who have limited space to install a storage drawer. It has internal dimensions of 430mm wide, 790mm long and 190mm deep. The Titan 900 double draw setup is ideal for smaller wagons like Prados, Pajeros and SUVs, with the internal dimensions identical to the 900 single draw on each side. The Titan 1300 ute drawers are made specifically for vans and utes. The internal dimensions are 1200mm long, 430mm wide and 150mm high. The 1300mm single drawers are also a cracking addition to the back of vans and utes. The internal dimensions are the same as the double 1300 drawers, but have an extra 40mm of depth, making them 190mm deep. And finally, for the bigger wagons like Land Cruisers and Patrols, the double 1070 storage drawers have internal dimensions of 880mm long, 470mm wide, and 180mm of depth. They come 95% pre-assembled, and all you need to install them is a couple of basic hand tools and a couple of hours on a lazy Sunday arvo. You can also add optional wing kits, both model specific and DIY, so you can finish off the back of your four-wheel drive and have plenty of storage available for your next adventure. Take your setup to the next level with the incredibly tough and unbeatable value for money Titan storage drawers.
If you're after a next level 12-volt upgrade for your vehicle or your next camping trip, then check this out. The Adventure King's 120 amp hour lithium battery. This uses high capacity, brand new grade A lithium iron phosphate cells capable of thousands of cycles. It's paired with a high quality BMS able to output up to 160 amps of current. The future of 12-volt setups is here. Lithium batteries are super lightweight and still have heaps of power capacity. In fact, this battery weighs just over 15 kilos. That's about half as much as a similar capacity AGM. But that's not all. Lithium batteries have the ability to use their entire capacity from 100 to 0% and still have an incredibly long life. The reason Adventure King's lithium batteries are so good is because they use lithium iron phosphate chemistry. That means if you're using the entire 120 amp hours of capacity in this battery every day, it would still last almost 5.5 years. Some cheap lithium batteries use grade B or even second-hand cells to keep the cost down, but not here. Adventure King's lithium iron phosphate batteries use brand new grade A prismatic cells. When these batteries are assembled, each individual cell is matched with others and then grouped. Then those cells are balanced, which means that these batteries always function at their best and ensure you have full capacity. Another major feature of these Adventure King's 120 amp hour lithium batteries is the high quality internal battery management system. This BMS for short takes care of the individual cells. It balances them while you're charging your battery. It prevents overcharge, over discharge, over temperature and short circuits. A high quality BMS is so important, and it's also incredibly important to match the BMS to the cells and the use of the battery. A good indicator of a high quality BMS is to look for high current discharge and charge ratings. This battery is capable of charging and discharging constantly at up to 100 amps, and it can do a peak discharge of 160 amps of current. A high discharge current and a high peak discharge current are very important if you want to run things like inverters that need a lot of power when they turn on to fill the capacitors. If you're looking at a battery that has a much lower charge and discharge rate, they could be cost cutting by using a cheaper BMS. Lithium iron phosphate is a safe technology, unlike some other lithium chemistries, and Adventure King's lithium batteries are doubly safe. Not only are they sealed and safe to use in your vehicle, they've also passed a short circuit test, overcharge test, over temperature test, and a vibration test, so they're ready to be put to use. Some lithium batteries are extremely sensitive to hot and cold temperatures, and they can be damaged or destroyed by trying to use them. Adventure King's batteries though can be charged anywhere from 0 to 50 degrees Celsius and used or discharged anywhere from -20 right through to +60 degrees Celsius. They use threaded M8 terminals for high power output and easy connection. Measuring in at 330mm long by 162mm wide and 215mm tall, they fit perfectly in an Adventure King's battery box for a lightweight and powerful portable power station. And with 120 amp hours on tap, you could run a camping fridge for 5 or even 6 days. or you can permanently install them in your vehicle for a next level, super powerful setup that barely weighs anything. And for that reason, they're perfect for your four-wheel drive, motorhome, caravan, or camper trailer, where you need to be concerned about GVM and GCM limits. So if you want a safe, lightweight, super powerful, and super long-lasting lithium battery for your next level setup, you can't beat an Adventure King's 120 amp hour lithium battery.
Introducing the incredible Adventure King's Premium Camp Oven Stove. Your new best mate for delicious barbecue or campfire cooking and warm, cozy fires whether you're at home in your backyard or at your favorite campsite. Let me show you all the things that I absolutely love about it, and I'm sure you're gonna love too. This amazing bit of gear has been designed right here in Australia, and it combines a camping stove and a portable barbecue into one. It can run off multiple fuel sources: wood, heat beads, charcoal, briquettes, and more. When it's time to cook up a feast, you can fit 2 large pots or pans on this huge flat cooktop surface that measures in at 520mm long by 300mm wide. That's enough space to cook up a feast for the entire family. And because it runs on wood or heat beads, you can leave the gas bottle behind, one less thing to pack. And when you want a beautiful roaring campfire, use the included hook tool to simply lift the 2-piece lid off completely and just add in some more firewood. The raised and closed design means you won't risk scorching your grass, your deck, or even your driveway. And you'll be able to use it for a beautiful warm fire at campsites that don't allow open ground fires. Plus, your firewood lasts longer because you're closer to the heat. Now that's cozy. The enclosed design means it's super efficient, and you can make the most of your fuel by directing the heat exactly where you want it. You can even adjust the temperature of your fire by varying the airflow. With these sliding vents on the side, a 2-piece removable lid on top, and an adjustable flue, you're always in control. Remove the entire lid for an open fire, or just this circular inner piece if you need extra heat for cooking, like searing steaks to finish them off. And this up here, now that is a real game changer. A chimney that extends over 2.4 meters off the ground to direct smoke away from your campsite for smoke-free campfires. You can even position the premium camp oven stove under your awning, your gazebo, or your shed for maximum warmth. And the angular offset chimney piece allows smoke to funnel away rather than getting trapped underneath. There's even a spark arrestor on top for good measure. There are so many more things to absolutely love about the King's Premium Camp Oven Stove. It's been designed to be super sturdy with these 4 large legs that extend the footprint a foot wider in both directions for excellent stability. The legs simply screw into the bottom like this, and you can remove the middle piece for a lower fire. This huge access door swings open with the included hook tool to allow you to easily refill the Premium Camp Oven Stove as required. Inside, you've got this fuel rack that keeps your wood or your charcoal up off the floor, maximising airflow and preventing wasted heat. It's a breeze to transport, set up and pack down too, with no tools required. Each of the 4 2-piece legs simply screw together and the chimney pieces pack into each other, with everything fitting into the main body of the Premium Camp Oven Stove for simple transport. Make sure you don't miss the incredible genuine cooking accessories available too, like a proper wood-fired meat smoker and a clever barbecue hot plate set to really take your camp cooking to the next level. And a stainless steel water boiler too. Whether I'm at home in my backyard or out camping with family, my mates, or even by myself, I absolutely love my Adventure King's Premium Camp Oven Stove. It's a portable fire pit, it's a wood or charcoal barbecue, and it's the centerpiece of every backyard get-together or camping adventure, and I know you're gonna love yours too.
Introducing the insane new Adventure King's 9-inch lethal LED driving lights. These things have an amazing combination of both spot and flood light. They have 21,840 lab-proven effective lumens per pair. That's over 2,000 more than the previous generation. Plus, they have huge light distance performance with 1 lux at over 1.3 kilometers. These are the LED driving lights that other lights wish they were.
You asked and we listened. You said you wanted even more flood of light out of your LED driving lights to light up the sides of the road, the highway and the tracks. we went back to the drawing board to redesign the lethal LED driving lights to produce exactly that. At the same time, we upgraded the lights to the ridiculously tough King's Laser Light die-cast aluminium housings and 3mm folded steel mounts. So not only are these some of the brightest LED driving lights we've ever sold, but they're also the toughest. How bright? Try a lab-proven 21,840 lumens per pair and one lux of 1,342 meters. That's real-world lumens too, not the theoretical lumens that some lights claim they produce. That's thanks to the genuine German-designed Osram LEDs for simply unparalleled light performance. We've also re-engineered the lethal lights with a new 5,185 Kelvin colour temperature. That means they're just a little bit more on the softer, warmer side. Still a clear, crisp white light, but that little bit easier on the eyes when driving long distances. And of course, you get all the features and quality you'd expect from Adventure King's driving lights, like polycarbonate lenses, the same stuff riot shields and fighter jet canopies are made of, and an IP68 water and dustproof rating, meaning these lights are waterproof to a depth of 1 meter for an hour. Plus, for the first time ever, they're rated to IP69K. That means they can withstand high pressure jets of hot water. That tough die-cast alloy housing features passive cooling fins and a waterproof breather for longevity, and they have the ability to run on both 12 and 24 volt, meaning they're suitable for everything from cars and four-wheel drives to trucks and machinery. Including the brackets, they measure 250mm high, 230mm wide, and 115mm deep. They have an attachment system that uses two 8mm bolts on either side to positively lock them in place and prevent them from falling out of alignment. And of course, they use the same plug as all previous Adventure King's lights, which makes them an easy 10-minute upgrade. Just unplug your old lights, bolt the new ones on, plug them in, and you're ready to go. Add in a 2-year warranty and you've got a simply incredible set of lights that leave the competition looking a little underwhelming. The Adventure King's 9-inch lethal LED driving lights are the best value LED driving lights on the market. We've re-engineered them to be incredibly tough and incredibly bright. They'll turn night into day, and they're on sale right now for a price you have to see to believe.
You asked and we've listened. The incredible MT1 Go Anywhere camper trailer has just received an ATM upgrade to 2 tons. All new Adventure King's MT1 camper trailers will now come with the new upgraded 2-ton ATM. But don't worry if you already own an MT1, because a retrofit upgrade kit is available too. The MT1 is already an ultra tough trailer with a one-piece 150x50mm chassis that extends right from the drawbar all the way to the back of the trailer. Now it's even tougher with upgraded suspension, bearings, brakes and wheels to bring it up to a 2-ton ATM. The brakes are upgraded from 10-inch to 12-inch electric brakes. The alloy rims are now rated to 2-ton ATM. And an upgraded set of suspension arms also suit the upgraded ATM. And for existing owners, the retrofit upgrade is incredibly easy to do at home yourself. Everything just bolts onto the trailer with no modifications needed. That extra payload capacity means that you've got more ability than ever before to carry the gear that you need and still remain legal. For more information and full detailed specs on the MT1, see the 4-wheel drive Supacentre website. Now with a 2-ton ATM upgrade, the Adventure King's MT1 Go Anywhere camper trailer can carry more gear than ever before.